Welcome to the 2021 Sioux Awards. We are here tonight to honor some of the University of North Dakota's most esteemed alumni. The recipients tonight of the Sioux Award are Erwin and Colleen Martens, Lisa Wheeler, Dr. Michael Brown, Terry Severson, and Werner Nistler. Recipients of the Young Alumni Achievement Awards, Lou Zhang and Peter Stenjum. Let's welcome this year's award recipients.
The University of North Dakota was founded in 1883, 6 years before North Dakota became a state. In fact, it was the first institution of public higher education in the Dakota Territory. What's even more amazing is that our first graduating class was in 1889. It consisted of 6 women and 2 men. Can you imagine being those first 8 individuals in 1889 to graduate from this amazing university? Well, those 8 individuals wanted to form the Alumni Association. They wanted to stay connected to each other, connected to their university, and find ways to give back to help this great university keep growing. I think of those first 8 graduates and the dedication they had to the university and to each other, the passion they had for the institution, and really the ability to look forward hundreds of years and say, it is important for this university to have an alumni association. It is important for this university to have alumni like us who care deeply for the institution and want to create opportunities for students hundreds of years into the future. And I look at those 8 individuals with admiration and am humbled by their passion for learning and their passion specifically for the University of North Dakota.
I am constantly amazed by the University of North Dakota alumni. They could leave here 40 years ago, and when you meet them and talk to them, it's like they were back on campus yesterday. They're special. They have this joy, this love for the University of North Dakota and the state of North Dakota in many cases. These people truly are special, and I look forward to meeting them and walking those campus paths with them when they return to UND.
We are so fortunate to have this university, and we must continue to support and strengthen it.
This university opened my eyes to the world, and I pray that it does the same for generations of students who follow me.
The University of North Dakota, quite simply, I think is world class.
I am so proud of the University of North Dakota. I am so proud of the people.
I was nurtured by this school and by the student body.
But this prestigious award only validates what we girls heard from our father most days. If you can't give it your 110%, don't do it at all.
The Sioux Award is an honor and tradition that goes back to 1949. And this very distinguished award has an amazing history of people who have received it. Political leaders of our state and our country, outstanding business leaders from across the world, teachers, lawyers, engineers, nurses, doctors who have changed lives every day. And yet, they see it as just what they should do.
Without this degree, I couldn't have done any of these things that I've done.
I really want to say that you can make a difference here at the university. You want to get involved, and you'll never regret it.
Because the University of North Dakota is a very special place, a place where an ordinary person like me can get an extraordinary education. an education that really did change my opportunities and change my life.
I have found that our Sioux Award recipients are overwhelmed by this distinguished honor. And I would say that we are humbled by their modesty and definitely in awe of their achievements.
UND truly is the foundation that I built my career on. It was here that I really figured out what I wanted to do and how I became the person that I needed to be for this career.
I will be forever grateful to UND and its professors for those extra efforts and individual focus that I received as a student. They worked hard to expose me to the joy of learning and the importance of being curious.
One of the truest aspects of our society that separates us from the rest of the world is philanthropy, that fundamental motivation and high desire within our society to give back.
As we go forward, there are exciting days ahead for the Minnesota Twins, yes, but more importantly tonight for the University of North Dakota. And just know that I'm personally committed to do everything I can to assist this university in its mission and to assist us get to greater things. I love the University of North Dakota. Thank you very much.
The Sioux Award stands as just a real life example of what one life can mean for the benefit of others.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the CEO of the UND Alumni Association and Foundation, Deanna Carlson Zink.
It is wonderful to see this room full again. Good evening, and yes, welcome to the 2021 Sioux Awards, where tonight we celebrate our recipients who have waited for over a year to accept their awards. Those to be honored tonight have taken the knowledge and experiences of their UND educations and accomplished great things in the areas of human rights, the law, business, engineering, military service, and medicine. We are proud to call them alumni of this great university. President Andy Armacost has told me how much he has been looking forward to this evening, as we were unable to hold this event during her first year in office in 2020. Now, 2020 may not be looked at fondly, but there was a silver lining for UND in that Andy began his tenure on June 1st of last year. We are fortunate he has been guiding this university over the past 16 months. So now please join me in welcoming our 13th president, Andy Armacost, to the stage.
Full house, huh? This is awesome. I've been waiting a year for this, and just an honor for me and for Kathy, who, if you haven't met us, come say hi after dinner tonight. We'd love to get to know everybody in this room, either tonight or at another point, but just an honor to be part of this celebration. And as Deanna points out, given the impact of COVID last year, I'm just proud to be here at my first ceremony. It's an important evening as we recognize 8 members who have had a tremendous impact on UND and on the world. And notably this summer, Kathy and I took a tour. It was like a concert tour around the state of North Dakota. And we stopped in Fargo and Williston, Watford City, Medora, Minot, Bismarck, Hazleton, Dickinson, Grand Forks, and out in Minnesota, the Twin Cities, and twice to Pelican Lake, where we met alumni and local leaders from the communities. We also visited Newtown, where we met with tribal council leaders, including 2 prominent UND graduates, and members of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation, one of the 5 First Nations of North Dakota. And at each of our stops, I felt it was important to share my core values as an educational leader, which I'll just share very, very quickly. There will not be a test. The first, love your people. The second, remember, we're here for our students. Third, treat each other with kindness, dignity, and respect. Number 4, take every opportunity to learn. And this allows you to develop, I think, a stronger sense of humility. And number 5, always remember that every person is great at something, and it's up to our great university to unearth that greatness in each of us. And as I reflected in preparation for this presentation, I reflected upon that message that I delivered across the state and tried to put it in the context of what we celebrate tonight. We're so fortunate to recognize these 8 distinguished alumni who epitomized these core values. They, throughout their careers, have demonstrated their commitment and their support to others and sparking greatness in those among them. So my congratulations to Erwin and Colleen Martens, Werner Nistler, Mike Brown, Terry Severson, Lisa Wheeler, Lou Zhang, and Peter Stemjum on this incredibly well-deserved recognition from your alma mater. Hail to thee with heart and tongue. To you we raise our grateful song. Congratulations.
Thank you, President Armacost. We have a remarkable board of directors which guides our organization in every way to be the best that we can possibly be. I would now like for our current and former board members to please stand and be recognized. My predecessor, Tim O'Keefe, was an incredible advocate for philanthropy and always remained focused on what would best help UND students thrive. Tim, thank you so much for being here this evening and for all you do. Now, we also have a number of students with us this evening throughout the audience. If you are currently enrolled at the University of North Dakota, would you please stand? Stay standing just 1 minute. I want to introduce you to someone. Many of these students are here thanks to our alumni and friends of UND who sponsored their ticket this evening. Would those who sponsored one of these students please stand so we can thank you for allowing them to be here tonight? Thank you. The Young Alumni Achievement Award was established in 2002 to recognize our recent graduates of the University of North Dakota who have accomplished great success at a young age. The Young Alumni Achievement recipients are excellent examples that with a UND degree in hand and a willingness to work hard, you can find success at the highest levels. Lou Zhang has been an advocate for the marginalized and underrepresented since receiving a UND law degree in 2012. After a few years working in private practice and specializing in employment law, Lou followed her desire to do more to improve the lives of others. She worked for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as a program manager, with the overarching goal to close the educational and achievement gaps for Black, Latinx, and low-income students. She currently is the pro bono manager for the Legal Council for Youth and Children, a nonprofit that protects the interests and safety of youth in Washington state by advancing their legal rights. She was also recently appointed as the newest member of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission for the City of Linwood, Washington. And as if she is not busy enough, she was accepted in August into the Doctor of Law and Policy program at Northeastern University, where she is now pursuing her doctorate. Lou believes that all learners deserve to have an equal opportunity to pursue a high-quality education. Economic mobility is not a privilege. In her mind, it is a right. She believes that education has the power to transcend time, place, and barriers. That belief comes from her own family history. Lou had an amazing role model in her grandmother, who in China in the 1930s pursued an education to become a nurse. It was not common at that time in China for women to seek degrees. As a champion of education, Lou has established the Equal Justice Endowment at UND to provide financial support to underserved student populations. Lou Zhang, for remaining true to yourself and your vision of fair and equitable education opportunities, please come forward to accept your Young Alumni Achievement Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, I want to thank the University of North Dakota and also University of North Dakota School of Law, as well as University of North Dakota Alumni Foundation for this distinguished award. My story began long ago. 25 years ago, my father, Walter Zhang, who's in the audience tonight, all the way from Los Angeles, came to this country with me, alone, as a single parent. We had no money, no connections, no resources. Like most immigrant families, we struggled. We faced discrimination, we faced hardships, and we faced setbacks. That's why at a young age, I wanted to be a legal advocate, to speak for those that can't speak for themselves, to advocate and champion for the people. And that's what led me to the UND Law School. UND Law School gave me a chance when no one else was willing to give me a chance to attend law school. They gave me financial support, academic support, and other student services support so that I can follow my dreams, so I can achieve what I can now. I am tremendously grateful for every person that's part of this large UND family that helped me to become who I am today. And that's why this award is so important, because it's not just for me, it's for all of you. My success is your success. When asked what advice would I give to the new students or current students in the audience, I will say this. Your dreams are valid. Always chase your dreams. The path to achieving your dreams may not be smooth. You may have to take a detour. You may have to put on pause, but always come back to your dreams, because it's worth it. It's worth fighting for. And when you need help, ask for help. Like I said before, UND is a large family. All of us here believe in you. We want you to succeed. We believe in your greatness. That's why you should always ask for help if you're needed. So to conclude, I just want to tell every person in the audience, chase your dreams fearlessly and boldly. Thank you.
Our next recipient of the Young Alumni Achievement Award is a successful fourth-generation banker. Peter Stenjum is president of First International Bank and Trust, a community bank started by his great-grandfather. Under Peter's leadership, the bank has grown to 700 employees in 28 locations, with assets approaching $4 billion. In addition to his role with the bank, Peter is also the director of Watford City Bankshares Incorporated and managing partner of Stengham Development. Peter believes that if you want to be a strong community bank, you have to be active in your community. He has served on many charitable and business boards throughout his career and has been a generous supporter of the University of North Dakota. He honed his charitable spirit at UND when, as a member of the Student Athletic Booster Organization, Sioux Crew, he and 4 friends made national news when they agreed to have their chest hair waxed to raise money for Hurricane Katrina victims. Now, it did start out as a joke while appearing on a local radio station, but the group followed through when national news outlets took interest. They raised $20,000 and had their waxing done in the tailgating area before the Potato Bowl game. Now, yeah, Stacy's going, really? That's dedication to philanthropy. So Peter, for continuing your family legacy of community banking, for investing in your communities, and being the joiner who always works to better the lives of others, please come forward to accept your Young Alumni Achievement Award.
Just when I thought that story would maybe die. And a couple of my friends that joined me on that story are actually here tonight, so I didn't know that was going to be brought up, so thank you. But again, thank you for the Young Alumni Achievement Award. I especially want to thank my family, my parents and my siblings, and now as a husband and a father. I wouldn't be here without any of them today. And I also want to say, tomorrow is my wife and I's 5th wedding anniversary. I know, right? So my wife Stacy is here today, and I'm sure she was imagining what our 5th anniversary might look like. I'm sure she was picturing a nice dinner, maybe a tropical vacation, but instead it's probably going to be a trip to the Red Pepper, and I'm thinking it's going to be the old one, not even the new one, too. But anyway, I'll talk about, again, thank you, Stacy. I wouldn't be here without you and all of your love and support. But again, so my journey started out growing up in the community of Watford City. And at the time, Watford was still a small town, not as much anymore with the oil activity that's happened. But growing up in Watford is where I learned to appreciate small town values. And many of those values are still prevalent in our company today. And I was raised to speak up respectfully. If you had an opinion, share it. But don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. But don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in and make decisions. Being recognized by UND is not something that I ever would have expected. I'm very humbled and honored to be receiving this award. It brings me a great sense of pride that what I'm doing on a daily basis is making a lasting impact. And especially after living in the red brick house at UND, and my mom saying I got an A in social life. But my UND community helped shape me as a young adult. So I started out my freshman year in McVeigh Hall. After that, I transitioned to a house on Cambridge Street where I had 8 other guys, and about half of campus, I think, came into that house. But of my group of friends, there's doctors, lawyers, CPAs, bankers, a chemical engineer, and even a superintendent of schools. So I don't think we ever would have imagined the kind of future success that was surrounding us, especially after being at our house on a Saturday night on Cambridge Street. So now, as a professional in my community, my home base is Fargo, North Dakota. At First International Bank and Trust, I serve as president. I've been a part of some amazing growth, help lead expansion efforts. We identify new markets. I help with hiring key talented individuals and launching new markets such as Sioux Falls, Edina, Bismarck, and one of my favorites is actually Grand Forks more recently. And you'd think with having 4 UND alumni in my immediate family, we would have had a bank in Grand Forks a lot earlier than we did. And I'm looking at my dad on that one. But we're very proud to be part of the Grand Forks community as an organization. So one of my favorite aspects about being bank president is business development, going on customer calls, seeing clients grow and expand their business, build new buildings, purchase or launch new businesses or product lines, literally helping dreams come true. Seeing these projects and companies continue to help support and improve their communities is one of the best parts about being a community banker. So whether it was Watford City, UND, FIBT, or Fargo, there's always been this sense of community. And because of that sense of community and our ability to lean on a powerful network of inspirational leaders is why I'm standing here today. I challenge all of us to lean into that sense of community, those connections. Remember that feeling when we know that someone believes in us, and do that for others. Encourage people, empower them to not only make decisions, but surround yourself with people that can truly make a difference. Thank you again for the Young Alumni Achievement Award. I'm excited about the journey ahead, and I encourage everyone to continue to lean into that sense of community and those connections. And it'll make our community great and our UND family even better. Again, thank you. I couldn't be more proud and honored to be standing here today. Thank you.
Congratulations, Peter and Lou. You are both very deserving recipients of the Young Alumni Achievement Award. Let's give another round of applause for these outstanding young alumni. Before we have our meal this evening, please welcome Pastor Chad Brucklacher from Christus Rex Lutheran Campus Center for our invocation.
Good evening. I serve as the director at Christus Rex Campus Center, and it's an honor to be here with you tonight representing one of 3 chapels on the UND campus and the spiritual dimension of wellness represented as one of the 7 pillars of wellness, the UND Health and Wellness Center. Before we have our invocation, we gather tonight with heavy hearts on account of the death of an aerospace student, John Hauser, who died in a plane crash on Monday. We pray for his family and for his friends and for all students who are impacted by this tragedy. I'd like to begin with a minute of silence as we would remember John. Thank you. Let us pray. Eternal God, bless all schools, colleges, and universities. especially the University of North Dakota, that they may be lively places for sound learning, new discovery, and the pursuit of wisdom. Grant that those who teach and those who learn may find joy in the challenges of academic life as well as athletic life. Bless the meal and all the hands who have prepared it. Bless the farmers who grow our food and all the companies who turn these crops into food products. For those who transport our food to grocery stores and restaurants, and for everyone who makes possible that all are fed. Thank you, God, that you offer us daily bread and desire that no one goes hungry. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to enjoy your dinner tonight, please welcome the Varsity Bards under the direction of Matthew Chariot.
Thank you. As many of you may have noticed, I am not Dean Gillick. Matthew Chariot, and I'm filling in for him tonight. Before we continue on, I would like to invite up any former bards, or as Dr. Gillick puts, any of the recovering bards here in the room tonight, up to the risers at this point to sing with us the UND Varsity Song. Come on up. There's got to be a few more out there.
Strong and loyal souls, we know you'll
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome back to the stage the CEO of the Alumni Association Foundation and 1986 UND graduate, Deanna Carlson Zink.
Thank you again to the extremely talented members of the Varsity Bards. They really get you in that homecoming spirit, yes. Before we bring our first Sioux Award recipient to the stage, I'd like to give you a quick rundown of what's on tap for the rest of homecoming week. Tomorrow is Fighting Hawks Friday. We are asking everyone to get their green on and show your UND spirit. There are tours of the finished Gershman Graduate Center and also the under construction Nistler College of Business and Public Administration. You can sign the beam for the new building at 1:15 tomorrow afternoon, so make sure you're there. The ATO House is finally hosting its grand opening. Yes, and Delta Upsilon is holding a groundbreaking for their new home. We'll be celebrating the renovation of the Chester Fritz Library, dedicating the Memorial Union and the Vanderwall Courtroom. And there are a number of department events tomorrow as well. On Saturday, the homecoming parade down University Avenue will start at 10 a.m. and you can head over from there to tailgating at the Alaris Center parking lot with the football game starting at 2 p.m. So I encourage you to go to undalumni.org/homecoming for a complete listing of all of our homecoming events. A special thanks to United Valley Bank for once again sponsoring homecoming events this week and for sponsoring tonight's Sioux Award Banquet. Yes, representatives? Thank you so much, United Valley Bank. We really appreciate our partnership. Now it's time to pay tribute to this year's Sioux Award recipients. The Sioux Award is the highest honor given by the UND Alumni Association and Foundation for achievement, service, and loyalty. Since its inception in 1949, this distinguished award has been presented to leaders in government, business, high achievers in various industries and professions, alumni who have dedicated their lives in service to others, and even, as you saw, one UND graduate who's been to outer space. Our first recipients tonight are Erwin and Colleen Martens. The Martens grew up not far from one another in Manitoba, but they didn't meet until Erwin came back to UND after 2 years of playing professional hockey in Germany. They would both earn master's degrees from UND. Erwin in economics, and Colleen in speech pathology.
Erwin Martens was a walk-on with the UND hockey team who became a co-captain of the 1980 National Championship squad. That would already make you a legend in hockey circles, but Erwin has remained committed to the program over the past 40 years.
You know, he bleeds green. He's a guy that's been, around the country and all different parts of the U.S. and his heart just keeps coming back to North Dakota. He's a guy that follows not only our hockey program, but UND very closely. He's a guy that just speaks from the heart. And when you think of the Sioux Award or what it takes to be that recipient, he has all the qualities. He's part of a strong culture here. He's humble in everything he does, hardworking guy, and he gives back. And I think that's the biggest thing, is he helps others. And that's what we do here at North Dakota.
After a 2-year professional hockey career in Germany, Erwin returned to UND to continue his education. That's when he met Colleen, an aspiring speech pathologist. And shortly after completing their master's degree programs, they married. Erwin would become an early expert in the field of risk management, while Colleen worked as a speech pathologist in school and hospital settings. The couple have been supportive of UND in many ways, including sponsoring an annual colloquium in the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders.
And Colleen and Erwin definitely demonstrate loyalty to UND, not only by their financial giving, but actually through their presence at the events that they do sponsor. Colleen comes back every fall and sits down right beside us during this one-day event that she sponsors, and learns right alongside with us as demonstrating a lifelong learner.
You hear the phrase giving back associated so much in the context of philanthropy, and which of course is true of Colleen and Erwin, but with them it's just not a phrase, it goes so much deeper. Colleen is financially and personally invested in our department. She genuinely cares about our faculty, our students, our client, and the quality of speech-language services we provide in our clinic. And so I think that Colleen really exemplifies what we try to instill in our students. We want them to be kind, caring, which she had a great long professional career as a kind, caring, competent speech-language pathologist. She continues to nurture her creativity through lifelong learning and generously shares that with others through the colloquium each year.
Erwin's a great human being in the fact that he has a lot of layers, and I mean that in a great way. He has a serious side to him. He has kind of a quirky, charismatic, comical side to him. But at the end of the day, he's a guy that just speaks from his heart all the time. A guy that just kind of gives everything he has to UND, and it's funny, in life, when life goes on and you get older, sometimes you get a little bit further away from places, one being UND. He's a guy that's never left. He's always been here, and he's always came back. And again, that's a big thing for us in our program here of sustaining our culture, because culture is a tough thing to build up, and it's easy to lose. But he's one of those guys that keeps adding to the tradition by just kind of giving back all the time.
Colleen and Erwin, for your success in your respective careers and your unwavering dedication to the University of North Dakota, please come forward to accept your Sioux Awards.
like to begin by thanking Deanna, President Andy Armacost, and First Lady Kathy Armacost, and the UND Alumni Association and Foundation for honoring us this evening. We also extend heartfelt congratulations to all our fellow recipients. We are so proud and honored to share this stage with you.
And to all our friends and family, our son Liam and daughter Alyssa, who join us here tonight, thank you for being here to celebrate such a meaningful moment for Colleen and me. It's been an extraordinary few years. We're very grateful to be able to share this evening with the UND community.
UND has always held a special place in our hearts. Although we arrived on campus at different times, Erwin and I both found a place where we were encouraged to pursue our passions and develop our interests and take risks, and thankfully meet each other. We both feel we wouldn't be the people we are today without the support that UND offered us.
And we wouldn't be the couple we are today if Colleen hadn't started offering me her desserts in the cafeteria around our office. But it's true, I walked onto UND hockey team in 1976 as a farm boy with a love for the game and a passion for science and math. UND supported my athletic and academic growth in ways that exceeded my wildest expectations. The on-ice leadership I learned from Coach Gino Gasparini shaped me from a raw walk-on to the co-captain of the 1980 NCAA championship team. And served me well in my business career. Academically, Dean Tom Clifford took a big chance on me and helped me return to UND to further my studies after my hockey career in Germany ended. In grad school, I benefited greatly from the mentorship and intellectual engagement of Professors Reed, Markowitz, Blackwell, Metzger, Winger, and Gregory across the economics and math departments that helped develop my business insights and passion for building solutions, which eventually led me toward a career in a newly emerging field of risk management. And although UND introduced me to her, Colleen deserves a lot of credit for supporting me during my academic passions. In fact, the first time I asked her out, she immediately said no. More specifically, she said she couldn't go out because she had studying to do. That's when I recognized that I had to do a lot more studying to get her attention.
Our kids like to joke that Erwin was lucky I had to take a statistics and computer class because it gave him the opportunity to offer me assistance. I will say there is no way I would have passed those classes without his help. My passion for speech and language pathology was born out of my experience growing up with a sister with a disability and a lifelong desire for helping others. I fell in love with the level of instruction and academic excellence that UND offered, and the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders, CSD, opened my eyes to all the different ways I could apply my knowledge. I want to recognize the faculty of this department in particular for all of their hard work and dedication to their students and the profession. As Carla said, the best aspect of my career was the continuing education. Staying engaged as a lifelong learner in my field was something UND instilled in me, and it's why I'm so proud to support UND through the annual CSD Colloquium. Every fall, I look forward to returning to campus and to seeing the excitement and engagement among the faculty and students. It's an honor to be able to give back in a way that is so personally meaningful.
Growing up on the family farm, not far from downtown Hansborough, and for those of you that don't know where Hansborough is, think the outskirts of Rolla. Hockey was a big part of my life. In fact, the pond I learned to skate on bordered the one-room school I attended. Now that sounds crazy, but yes, I did actually go to a one-room school. Hockey was also my ticket to a wider world, and as serendipity would have it, a dorm room at Walsh Hall. UND wasn't just the team I played for, it was also my chance to explore the diverse range of interests from computer science and mathematics, economics, to music and astronomy. I had a privilege of learning from a host of very talented professors along the way, all of whom encouraged my curiosity and helped me forge in my eventual career path. As I look back, I count myself as very fortunate for having nearly a 45-year relationship with UND. And UND has been filled with opportunity and promise and a liberal dose of serendipity in my past. It's the honor to give back to the university that has given me so much.
In closing, we would both encourage UND students to stay involved with the university, write your favorite professor, find out what research they are involved in, come and visit when in the area, and donate what you can. Thank you so much for honoring us, and congratulations again to all of tonight's recipients. Congratulations again, Colleen and Erwin. Everyone who served on the UND Alumni Association and Foundation Board at the same time as Lisa Wheeler knows exactly why she is so deserving of being a recipient of the Sioux Award. She is a leader, she is engaged, and she is all about service to UND. Lisa is a successful attorney and business owner who has never forgotten those who have followed in her footsteps on campus.
Lisa Wheeler first earned a degree in physical therapy at UND. After working in the field for 4 years, she returned to Grand Forks to attend law school. To pay for school, she worked as a physical therapist on weekends. After graduation, she worked at her father's law firm in Bismarck, then joined the title company of Fargo to work in the field of real estate law. She and her business partner, John Korsmo, also joined forces in starting a law firm.
Lisa embodies curiosity and courage. Just look at her path through UND and her career. Starts out as a physical therapist, turns into a lawyer, and then moves on to be a very successful business leader. That's impressive.
Lisa embodies the spirit of a servant leader. She has been a generous supporter of UND, serving on the Alumni Association and Foundation Board of Directors, in addition to providing financial support for scholarships and other initiatives.
You know, as a board member, a committee chair, or a proud alum, Lisa always gives her best. You know, she's a learner, she's a leader, she's extremely generous, and she's so much fun.
When asked to consider her greatest accomplishment, Lisa names this moment, being asked to toss the coin at a UND football game in 2019.
She's just so passionate about the University of North Dakota, and to me that's really special. So we wanted to recognize her in a way, and I'm really pleased that it was special to her to be out on the field and toss the coin that day. And of course, we're really happy that we won when she tossed the coin.
We all know Lisa, and we all know Lisa's loves. She loves her family, her nieces and nephews, her friends, Tom, and UND, and not necessarily in that order.
Well, if you haven't ever had a chance to meet her, I think you should. She's a special person. She has touched many lives and been a positive influence on many. She's been a positive influence on me, and I think she exemplifies what we would picture as what we want our alumni to really be when they go out into the world. Go out, do well, lead, and give back so others can share in that experience that you had.
Lisa Wheeler, for being a friend to UND, especially at UND football, your clients, students, and student athletes, please come forward to accept your Sioux Award.
Thank you. It's so nice that we can all gather again. The first time I attended this event, it was in 1986, and my uncle, Dr. Lee Wiltsey, was getting the Sioux Award. Tonight, my mother's cousin's grandson, Peter Stenjum, received the Young Alumni Award. My parents believed that the best foundation for success for my siblings and me was an education from UND. They were right. The stories that you hear at this event, which is one of my favorite events that the university throws, prove that they were right. The accomplishments are amazing and varied all over the globe and in every imaginable field. I have been so blessed and lucky to have been born, raised, educated, and able to pursue my career in this great state. I love North Dakota. I have roots here. I can feel them. They are deep and they are green. UND green. My life has been, and these roots have been nurtured by my siblings in birth order: Mary Beth, Kim, Jenny, Joanne, Pam, Catherine. And each of my sisters has a brother named Fred. My siblings have shared their 10 children with me so graciously and generously, and I have really appreciated that. Some of them are here tonight: Chad, Patrick, Kelsey, Gwen, and Dane. Thank you. And then there's my husband, Tom Wold, who has enriched my life immeasurably, and not just by convincing me to invest in real estate, but by his love for family, his integrity, his willingness to try anything, and his appreciation for history. Thank you, Tom, and thanks for being my friend. He always tells me that. I also need to thank the Foundation and Alumni Association for this great honor, and for the opportunity to serve on their board. The years that I served on the board were some of the best years of my life. I reconnected with old friends, I made new friends, I learned so much, and I had a blast. So, I would urge all of you alumni and students to stay connected to and involved with your university. Every year, give a little bit of your treasure. It will form a bond. and then share your talent, and the bond will grow. You won't regret it, and you might have fun. There is a rumor going around that the institution of higher education is in trouble. You all heard President Armacost detail his core values for this university, your university. I won't go into them because he did it so much more eloquently than I ever could have. But I believe that under his leadership and with help from all of you, UND, our university, will not only survive, but will thrive. Thank you again for this award. It is such an honor and so special to me. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lisa. Our next recipient probably deserves a Sioux Award just for the thousands of babies he delivered at All True Hospital during his long career as an OB/GYN. But Dr. Michael Brown also spent 2 decades as mayor of this fine city, leading flood recovery and economic development efforts while strengthening the town and gown relationship between UND and City Hall.
Michael Brown already had 2 degrees in hand when he joined the Air Force and was stationed at Grand Forks, where he served as a missile launch control officer. He enrolled at UND to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming a doctor. Thus began a 30-year career at All True Health System as an OB/GYN. In 2000, he won election to be mayor of Grand Forks, a position he held for 20 years.
It's never about Dr. Brown. It's always about you and me and the community, whether the community is the All True community or his patients or Grand Forks or the UND family. It's about service to others. So he has led by being a servant, by understanding, embodying the principle that it is caring for others that is the truest manifestation of a leader.
People often speak of being a servant leader. It's one thing to say it, the other thing to do it, and Mayor Brown really is that servant leader. So when you work under the leadership of Mayor Brown, he allows you to be the very best that you can be. When you work for him, he celebrates your successes. If there's something that goes wrong, he takes that on himself. But he has the ability just to be, and a lot of people just can't be, and Mayor Brown can just be within his own self. And by doing that as a leader, he allows everybody else to shine and to grow and to develop.
Dr. Brown's successful legacy as mayor includes flood recovery, economic development, and a strengthened town and gown relationship with UND.
So given the involvement of UND in the community, it's important to also recognize that there's some tensions that come from that relationship. And Mayor Brown was good about acknowledging those points of conflict and then trying to see what we could do to improve them.
I had the privilege to work with him with the city of Grand Forks. He always led us to be the very best we can be because he was always the best that he could be. He was probably, I would have to say, Mayor Brown never had a bad day. And so when you work with a leader that never has a bad day and always takes things in stride, he makes work a lot of fun. And when you're having fun at work, you're doing lots of great things.
Dr. Michael Brown for collaborating with UND and leading this city for 20 years to a place of prosperity for your stellar medical career, military service. Please come forward.
Well, thank you very much. It was how do we get to yes? And that was how we approached everything. So I want to say thank you, Deanna, and thank you, everyone. President Armacost, thank you to the UND Alumni Association Foundation for this award. When Deanna called 2 years ago to congratulate me on being nominated for the Sioux Award, I thought it was a prank call. But she sounded sincere and enthusiastic, so I thought I'd better let her talk. So I'm glad I did. It still doesn't seem real. I would like to thank my family for their support and sacrifice in these many challenging times, which were changes of my own making. I'd like to thank the community of Grand Forks for its support during my 20 years as mayor, as we recover from the flood of 1997 and entered an economic boom which continues to this day. UND is and has been a catalyst for change in my life and in the life of my wife, Ann. We're both fortunate to have attended the University of North Dakota School of Medicine. What a positive difference it has made in our lives and in the community in which we live. We had many positive role models to help us learn and grow as caregivers. When I was younger, I read Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning on the airplane flying to our sister city in Kanama, Japan. In the middle of the book, he states, life is a series of random events, and how we respond to these events gives life meaning. I closed the book. That wasn't the answer I wanted. But in retrospect, we choose our path with the tools we've acquired in life, whether it's nature, nurture, or both. Next, I read the last lecture by Randy Powers, who was a professor diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And he wrote an inspirational, heartwarming book about living, not dying, to his students and his legacy to his 3 young children. I've discovered we expect our leaders to dream. John D. Odegaard with the UND School of Aerospace, and Tom Clifford and Dr. Venice with the UND School of Medicine. Every state of the city, I gave people permission to work towards the dreams of a greenway, Canada Inn at the Alaris Center, Choice Health and Fitness, a water treatment plant, and better roads. And I discovered in my life a few worthwhile tools. Keep it simple, make it fun. That was our troop motto in Okinawa and scouting. And succeeding in life is a team sport. I've been fortunate in scouting, in the military, in medicine, and in public service to have assembled an A team to help me fulfill my goal of improving and serving my community. What message do I have for the students here tonight? You are blessed to have this university, which offers the tools to help you make a difference in the world. We inherently feel good serving others, and this is evident in the other recipients of the Sioux Award. This award certainly makes those who receive it feel good and proud and validated for their hard work that leads to achievements recognized tonight. It certainly is the highest award of my professional life and the one of which I am most grateful. What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others lives on. That great philosopher, Willie Nelson, once said when introducing a member of his band, wisdom comes with age, but sometimes age comes alone. So students, don't let that be you. Use the tools you acquire here at UND and make a difference. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Mike Brown. Our next recipient, Terry Severson, followed up a decorated military career by starting a telecommunications and systems company that employs 350 people around the world.
Terry Severson's memories of UND go way back. He was a 4-year-old living in the then new tin huts when his dad received a degree from UND. Years later, he would be back on campus getting a degree in electrical engineering while a member of the Air Force ROTC program. He would stay in uniform for the next 27 years in communication information assignments around the world.
I think he's taken his UND education and done extraordinary things with it. He's had a 50-year career in his chosen business industry, 27 years as an Air Force officer, rising to the rank of colonel, then coming out of the military and having a long, successful career in private industry. In addition, he's stayed connected with UND for 50 years, 51 years, and has continued to help UND improve on their mission, which is to educate current and future students.
Even among the most successful alumni we have, I think Terry stands out. He's done things that most people can't say that they've done. He's served our country. He's started a successful business that employs hundreds of people. He's been a huge supporter of the college. He's remained very loyal to UND, and he's stayed really connected to his roots here in North Dakota. He's a great person overall. Honestly, he's one of the people that I respect the most in life. And for somebody from Stanley to say that about somebody from Tioga, that's saying a lot. But I really got to know Terry well the last couple of years. When I first became interim dean and then dean, he really helped quite a bit with the transition. He's been so involved in the college for so long. Having him provided actually some continuity between the previous dean and myself. And since then, he's been a great mentor. He gives great advice. I like to bounce ideas off of him. And he's just really been a steady, positive force for the college overall.
Terry has also always not just wanted to do a job, he wanted to do it well. And I think that shows in his career. He's also 51 years since graduating, he's still working. And he's not working because he has to, he's working because he likes to. He finds it enjoyable, and he wants to still be engaged with society and doing good. And I think that's a very long career, and there's not many of our co-graduates that are still working.
One thing I truly admire about Terry is that he acknowledges that the setbacks outnumbered the victories in his career, yet he was always able to dust himself off and learn from those setbacks. Terry, for your outstanding military career, your success as a business leader, and for your support of students at the University of North Dakota, please come forward to accept your Sioux Award.
Nick and Brian were very quiet. I had no idea that was coming. Thank you. There are quite a number of current students and some recent grads out there. I'm going to try to make a couple points. Like that turtle's on top of a fence post, none of us got there by ourselves. All of us stand on the shoulders of those who came before us and those who joined us along the way. Those are who had faith in us. And I do wish my parents and my wife Diane could have been here to see this. There would have been no doubt in their minds that I deserve to be up here, whereas I'm not so sure. Nevertheless, thank you very much for the honor. It's more than a bit humbling standing up here knowing the company that I'm joining. I'm the product of parents and grandparents from Pheasant, North Dakota. Mom's family, first generation Norwegian farmers. Dad's father came over from Norway through Ellis Island, 1909. Dad went to then Minot State Teachers College on a football scholarship as a 135-pound guard. And that's where Mom, the farmer's daughter, was also going to school. Well, I left school, got married. Dad got drafted into the World War II Army, so Mom and her 4-month-old son, that was me, returned to the farm. My earliest memories from the farm include the threshing crews that Grandpa then used to harvest the crops. Dad returned from the war, gathered up Mom and his now 4-year-old son, still me, and headed here to UND on the GI Bill. We lived on campus in a tiny trailer house closest to the railroad tracks in a trailer park, located where currently the Hislop and Starcher Halls sit. And that, by the way, when I came back as a student, that was our football practice field. Later, we moved into the brand new tin huts. You saw the picture there. The tin huts were a luxury. In '49, Dad left with his degree, I left with my first grade report card, and Dad always credited UND for what he was able to achieve in life. And the lesson was not lost on me. My military career was pure happenstance in the beginning. When I arrived at UND back in 1960, all able-bodied, non-veteran men were required to take 2 years of ROTC. I did my best to keep a low profile, standing in the middle of the back row of a formation of 20, 25 guys, where I was as a sophomore when my flight commander pointed to me and said, "Mr. Severson, see me after drill." What did I do? Turns out they were short of advanced ROTC cadets, officers, juniors and seniors, to lead the flight, so they appointed a number of temporary second lieutenants to fill in. And I became one of those. So much for the middle of the back row. I was invited to go to the advanced program, so upon graduation, I was commissioned a second lieutenant in the Air Force. My first assignment was tech school in Biloxi, Mississippi. No place I'd ever heard of, and a bit of a culture shock to a small town North Dakota boy. A couple of assignments later, I was a radar maintenance officer at a site in the middle of Thailand, and was surprised to be offered grad school at University of Denver. Next stop out of Denver was Offutt Air Force Base at Omaha and Strategic Air Command. After about a year there at SAC, I realized I'd found my life's profession. These guys were smart, worked hard, were dead serious about their jobs, but still had fun. And I was very proud to be a part of that. While I was at Offutt, I attended a temporary school down in Alabama and met Diane. Later years, when I asked how we met, she liked to say, "He found me in a bar in Alabama." Well, yes, but the bar was in the Maxwell Air Force Base Officers Club. Our sons, Carl and Eric, thanks for being here tonight with your families and extended families, arrived respectively in Concord, Mass. And in Honolulu. Then, seemingly in a flash, 27 years had gone by. We were at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, and it was military retirement time. Diane and I never had a regret for the military life we had chosen. Carl and Eric may have had one or two along the way, but Then I became a defense contractor and have been doing that for the last 29 plus years for a series of companies. And 15 years ago, as Deanna mentioned, got an opportunity to co-found Trace Systems, defense telecom company, and I'm still there. I'm making a point of my military service tonight for a reason. We, current and past military members, are a bit rare in America today. Only 1% of our citizens serve in the military, only 1%. Very different from my parents' time when virtually everyone had family members who had served, or even during Vietnam when we still had the draft. A point that got my attention and has stuck with me ever since, particularly through my military career, was one of my early Air Force schools. An Air Force Academy philosophy professor, then Colonel Malcolm Waken, posited that the line between incompetence and immorality is a thinner line in the military profession than in any other. Recent Afghanistan events might seem to illustrate that. I'd add, however, that from the last several years of experience that all of us have endured, maybe that concept applies more widely in government, irrespective of one's social or political views. I've traveled and lived around the world and discovered that my roots still remain firmly in North Dakota. My best friends are still my Tioga High School and UND classmates. I look forward and appreciate frequent visits to UND, to North Dakota, whether for engineering board meetings, hockey series, homecoming, checking on the farm and family, or just checking in on friends. Every trip is coming home. I never felt that more than this week in particular. I'd add that one of those UND classmates is my roommate, Lambda Chi fraternity brother, lifelong friend, and by the way, 3 years ago, a Sioux Award winner, Mike Ladone, sitting at my table tonight, and you saw him on the screen as well. I had no idea that was coming, Nick. Does anybody know of any other roomies who were also Sioux Award winners? One reason for my North Dakota roots is explained by another course that I took in the Air Force. There's a guy named Dr. Morris Massey coined the idea that what you are is where you were when. That stuck with me. The idea is that our views on life are established by where and when we grew up in our young, impressionable years. Well, I grew up in rural North Dakota, farm and oil country in the 40s and 50s, and UND in the 60s. And that's who I've remained over the last 55 years or so, whatever I've done, wherever I've been. So, students here tonight, your views are being shaped by your experiences here at UND, and you'll take that with you for the rest of your lives. I think you'll find that your UND experiences will serve you very well. They certainly have me. Thank you.
Congratulations, Terry. Our final recipient of the evening is being honored for having an outsized influence on UND students for years to come. Werner Nistler and his wife, Colleen, are the generous lead donors on the Nistler College of Business and Public Administration building being constructed now on the UND campus.
Werner Nistler grew up on a farm near Gulva, North Dakota, and moved into nearby Beach in high school. He and 6 of his 9 siblings attended UND, where Werner worked as a dishwasher to pay for college. He would work his way up to cook and eventually become the student manager of the Smith Hall cafeteria. He began a career in accounting after 2 years in the Army and after receiving a master's degree from Arizona State University. In 1980, he founded Touchmark, which now operates 14 full-service retirement communities in North America.
I think what sets Werner apart from his peers, particularly in business, is his thoughtfulness. He approaches every conversation, every relationship, every transaction, be it business or personal, with a very thoughtful nature.
Werner met Colleen when she came to work for him at Touchmark. He remembers being impressed that she passed all the sections of the CPA exam on her first try. They married and have 6 children. In 2019, Werner and Colleen agreed to be the lead donors for a new business and public administration building on campus. Their commitment led to a $20 million match from the state and prompted others to donate. The building will open next fall.
I've heard him say that, this wave of excellence here at UND is strong, and he wants to be part of that. He wants to continue to help build that, to be something that everyone is not only extremely proud of, but we can attract and retain more faculty, more students, keep the community and the state involved. He understands firsthand how if you pay forward, there will be great things that happen.
Werner and Colleen have built their organization on the foundation of character and ethics and treating people with respect. So Werner Nistler completely embodies the character that I know we would want to see in a Sioux Award winner. And I think that's the strongest advocacy for winning this award above and beyond his corporate and his business success. It's the person that he is, the father that he is, the husband that he is, and the philanthropist that he is.
Anyone that has the opportunity to meet Werner and Colleen, for that matter, are so impressed with them because they're so down-to-earth people. They're very deeply rooted. Werner talks a lot about his roots back to North Dakota. I mean, that's a part of who Werner Nistler is. He is North Dakota true and through.
Werner, for living your values at home and at work, and for your extremely generous support of the UND Business and Public Administration students, please come forward to accept your Sioux Award.
This is quite the audience tonight, and I'm truly honored. I'm very honored to be receiving this award. This evening, I'd also like to thank President Armacost. I first met him on a Zoom call about maybe it was a year and a half ago, and he was just off a call with the NDSU president, and he talked about collaborating with the president. And I thought of the comment, or he may have even made it, is that high tides rise all boats. And when I think about that comment and his leadership here at UND, and also his desire to improve the education here in this state, we have just a true winner in President Armacost. So thank you. I'd also like to thank the professors of the University of North Dakota, and 2 of them at my table tonight, or 3 of them actually, are Deanna Hanley and Catherine Campbell and Rod Medallion. Now, Rod Medallion started school at the University of North Dakota about the same time I did. He sat next to me in municipal accounting, and Koulis was our instructor. and he was a real quick study. He had come out of Mayville College with a degree in teaching. He was coming on to the University of North Dakota to receive a graduate degree. Well, as it would be, I sit next to him in municipal accounting as a sophomore. The next year, he's teaching me intermediate accounting. So our history goes back a long, long way. I'd also like to thank Dick Bars. He's one of my high school buddies. He was the end on the football team, and he always made me look so good as I would throw him passes. He must have had syrup on his fingers or something because he caught everything I threw him. So I'm very happy that he is here tonight. Also tonight, Barbara Nistler is here. Barbara is the wife of Paul Nistler, who unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. But Barbara's mother-in-law was my babysitter out on the farm there in North Dakota those many years past. Her daughter Anna is here as a law student just now. I'd also like to thank Touchmark and our 3,000 team members that we have around the country for keeping us safe during COVID. But lastly, I'd like to thank my wife Colleen, who's been at my side for now 30 years in marriage. As was said in the video, where she passed the exam, and what was said in the video is that she passed it the first time, all 4 parts. What was not said in the video, and I have to be really honest with you, is that it took me 4 times. 4 times. So I was my apartment was pretty well furnished, but I didn't have all the brains that she had. I also want to thank the pastor this evening for the prayer. When you think about it, how many public universities do you know that bring forth an event like this with an invocation? To have God in prayer on an agenda in an event like this, I think speaks very highly of the university, and it's certainly something that I really do appreciate here at UND. Now, as may have been said, I grew up in a farm there in western North Dakota. I went to a small school, Berkey Grade School. All 8 grades were in one room, just like Erwin, I believe, had the same experience. And we didn't have running water. There was a boys' outhouse and a girls' outhouse, and so life was real simple. And just this last week, Colleen and I stopped at the Berkey School. A neighbor has been keeping it in repair. And as you walk into this one-room schoolhouse, on the one side are the 10 Commandments prominently displayed. In another corner is the flag. And so as we came to school in the morning, we would say the Pledge of Allegiance and sing some patriotic songs. And if life was so wholesome back in those years, and that is what I remember about growing up back there in that one-room school home. Now to think of coming here to the university and seeing all these wonderful facilities that we have, of seeing all the students thriving and the faculty and everybody so passionately involved, I am so appreciative of coming from where I was to where we have gone. I also know that if it wasn't for all the help that we've had along the way, whether it be in education or whether it be in business, then I never would have been at this podium this evening. So life has been very good for us. Thank you to the university. Now I will say to these students out here who are going on, the first thing I'll say is that tomorrow there's a time capsule that we're going to set in place. And back when I started school, West Hall was the first year, and I was in 104B. And now the West is coming down. And so that was 50 some years ago. So those of you here in the audience as students, someday you will be helping to open that time capsule. And if I get to it by tomorrow morning, I'm going to go out and get a 5th of scotch and I'm going to place it in that time capsule, so you have to be sure that you come back when you're 70, 72 years of age. So that you can try this scotch I'm going to leave for you. So, but a few more words to these young aspiring students. Never take no for an answer. If you have setbacks in your life, which you will, do not let that deter you. I know from my own personal experience that if you stop and you let life set you back when you have these setbacks, you're not going to move forward. Just stay focused and stay determined. And the other words I'll leave with you is that crisis breeds an opportunity. Every time things have not gone well for me, right around the corner is another opportunity that I did not see. And when viewing that opportunity and when bringing forth that opportunity into some success, you look back and think, I was right on crisis breeds an opportunity. So to you, students, do not take no for an answer. Step forward with vigor and vitality and build and live your dreams. As was said earlier, grasp those dreams and run with it. So lastly, I would just like to reiterate my thanks for this award. It means a great deal to me and our family. I know that there are many people who are very deserving of this award, and as some of you students who are opening that time capsule in 50 years from now, one of you or several of you will be up here receiving a similar award. So I thank you very much again for it and for all the wonderful things that the university has brought to me. I could not be more proud nor more happy of this school and this state. So thank you very much, and may God bless you all.
Congratulations, Werner. Werner, Terry, Mike, Lisa, Erwin and Colleen, Peter and Lou. Tonight you have joined a select and remarkable group of UND alumni and friends who are shining examples of what a UND diploma and hard work can accomplish. We are proud to call you great alumni of the University of North Dakota. At this time, I'd like the current and former Sioux Award and Young Alumni Achievement Award recipients in the audience to please stand so we may recognize you. Oh, yes, of course.
I don't mean to change the subject here at all, but what I failed to mention, and I know you're sitting back to have a few more glasses of wine, so don't feel bad if you have to leave, but what I failed to mention is to thank Deanna and Kim Woods, Dan Muse, and all of the wonderful people in the development department. Do you realize that this team has generated $70 million 3 years in a row for this university? And so, congratulations to you. So we are in very good hands for these individuals, and I'm really sorry I had to come back up, but I forgot that. And I really didn't want to overlook all the wonderful things that they've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you can interrupt me anytime, Werner. That's okay. Thank you. So there's a quote attributed to Teddy Roosevelt that I quite like. Do what you can with what you've got where you are. During my State of the UND Alumni Association and Foundation address in August, I used that quote to talk about the concept of doing good, where you are with what you've got. Each of our recipients tonight is a great example of doing good. We see it in their successful careers, their philanthropy, their outlooks on life. Before we go, I'd like to acknowledge some others who have dedicated themselves to doing good. Earlier this year, we announced a $5 million gift to establish the Middleton School of Entrepreneurship and Management. Tom and Connie Middleton are here with us tonight. So Tom and Connie, would you please stand so we can recognize you for your amazing gift? I don't want to dwell a lot on 2020, but I will point out one other moment from last year that shines through as an example of UND alumni doing good for UND students. College students were hit particularly hard by the pandemic as they dealt with job losses, family upheaval, and so much more, while also trying to learn remotely. Here at UND, we learned that applications for the little publicized UND Angel Fund had skyrocketed. Students were looking for help with rent, medical bills, even to put food on the table. One student wrote they'd recently been in a car accident and their father's business had burned to the ground. Another said they had actually become homeless. And yet another said they'd been working 2 jobs to support their family, but the COVID shutdowns had cut their income in half. I'm concerned what the future will hold, they wrote. So we put out the call for donations to the Angel Fund for emergency needs and created the Open Door Scholarship Program to help students stay in school. I'm so proud to say that so many of you answered the call to action, and nearly 1,500 gifts have been made to these 2 initiatives, totaling nearly $700,000. I am filled with joy and absolutely broke down in tears, wrote one Angel Fund recipient. You have no idea how much this helps, said another. This is what it means to do good in the lives of others. I am so thankful to all who have made a difference for UND students over the past 18 months. You are caring. You are amazing. You are doing good. Thank you all for another wonderful Sioux Awards Banquet. Please feel free to stay and socialize and congratulate these evening's award winners. I hope you are as inspired by their stories as I am. So now let's go out into the world and do some good. Have a good evening.